Hi, welcome to the
So,
Tentative Talk podcast. We're here in episode 2, and today we have a very interesting topic about whether you were beaten up as a kid or not, your parents beating you up. That's the
Ouch.
topic. And I have Neil and Alex with me today, who, on the
hello.
same panel, we're going to be discussing that. And we're going to kick it off with Neil, who has a very interesting story for us.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. Take it away,
So,
Neil.
I don't know if it's as amazing, but it's more of a prompt, right? What weapon was your parents' weapon of choice? For me, it
Was
was
the
a cane.
oh
Like
shit.
the typical old man cane with the curve on one
Oh
end, so
dude.
you have a good grip.
You were
That was
beaten
their
by
weapon of
Willy
choice.
Wonka.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because there's a certain amount of convenience involved, right? They don't want it slipping out of their hand like a cricket bat or something of that sort. You have a
Okay.
good grip, but there were rules to the game. Luckily, that my mom had enforced.
Oh
No
damn, okay.
hitting the kids. It's me and my brother. No hitting the kids above the waist. Not allowed.
Whoa. What? He was asked to go at your balls?
I
No
can't believe
hitting
you
them
guys
above the
had rules
knees.
of engagement and all, bro. What is this?
Dude,
Pre-written documents.
Yeah,
like
it's quite
was
civil in our
wait, hold
uncivility.
on, hold on. Wait. If these rules weren't there, your dad would have killed you?
I firmly
Like
believe this. I firmly believe this.
so it was
There
the
is no disciplining happening if you're not scared for your life.
oh my God.
Yeah, the
Okay.
fear factor, the
Were,
ultimate
were
fear
the,
factor.
okay. Okay, you can continue. Were the rules ever broken?
Where the roles ever broken. So I can tell how pissed off my dad is based on the height he's hitting me at, right? If it's below the knees,
Oh.
it's a small offense. If it goes to my ass, that's when I know I'm really fucked up.
Oh
Imagine
shit.
one day you get socked in the face or something.
So when it's reaching my waist, I'm like, oh shit, no, dude, this was really bad. Never gonna do it
Oh
again.
shit.
So I like how the marks on my body were like a metaphor for how bad my uh, offense was. What about you guys? What were your parents' weapons of choice?
Dude, my dad just had used his hand, dude. Like I got hit on the head or something.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple, man. And there were
Your
no
dad's
rules
a
also.
kung fu practitioner. Uses only his hands, no weapons.
Yeah, martial art, karate, and
Yeah,
the worst part is he didn't have any rules. He could just do whatever he wanted.
it was a street fight at home.
Right? Yeah. So the rules, the worse my crime was, the more number of hits I get. It's not the position.
Oh.
That's how it works.
Hmm.
Oh,
So they're all at equal intensity. It's just the number that changes.
I'm imagining your dad as a
quantity
machine, right?
versus quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like being in prison, right? Like if you do a small offense, you go for 1 year. If you do a big offense, you get 14 years. But all the years are the
Oh
same length.
man.
It's like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, I'm just imagining your dad like a machine and your mom kind of putting the setting, right? Like intensity at 3, speed at 2, like tuk, 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 tuk.
Yeah, you lie 1 hit, steal 3 hits,
So for me,
don't go
the
to
web.
church, 7 hits.
Yeah.
Seven,
How about you,
seven.
Arvind?
Yeah, so for me, the weapon of choice was my dad's belt. Right,
Ooh.
that was the scene.
Oh,
Good
So
play, good play.
okay, like that was like the like the
the
what do you
buckle
say?
line. No way, the
No,
buckle
no,
line.
no. The tail end
Oh,
itself.
shit.
But that
Shit.
was the predisposed weapon of choice. That was like the basic weapon. Okay, like always that is.
Oh.
Oh, like
If
one Tamil
if
movie.
if the situation is in the kitchen, then it's like some that chapati roller
Oh.
and that stuff.
Okay,
The
okay.
long
Oh.
metal one.
But
Whatever
the
it's
Yeah.
called.
chapati
Oh
roller is
man.
a very feminine weapon. Like, your dad doesn't look masculine holding a chapati roller.
My mom.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
His mom is the one dishing out
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
the
okay.
dinner and the
in
hits.
my house, at least when I was a kid, right? So how it worked. If the offense was small, right? Like all these day-to-day offenses, my mom would
Yeah.
take care of it. If it was something big, my dad would step in.
Yeah.
This is like
For
The
the
Office.
small, yeah.
Where
Yeah.
Yes.
like Michael was
Yeah.
handling the big picture stuff and Jim
Yeah, the
was
big
handling the
picture,
day
the
to
small picture. So my dad would
Okay.
never come for this like small stuff about me, like maybe like pushing my brother or some shit like my dad would never interfere for that. He won't even look, he won't flinch. But something big, right? Like I mess up like big at school, like the
Yeah.
teacher calls me, then dad comes in and then he
Okay.
finishes me off.
What if there's an overlap? Like you pushed your brother at school.
Yeah.
No, no.
Then it's both of them.
So when my dad is sitting, my mom just watches. That's it.
Ah,
She just sits
yeah.
there,
Popcorn.
watches, and like Spurs one, hit him
Yeah.
there, get him on his face. No, I'm just kidding.
10 points to Gryffindor.
So at
Yeah.
my house, how it was like usually my mom would, if it was something big, right? She'll scold me verbally and stuff, but she'll wait for my
Mhm.
dad to come to like give him the full picture, and then my dad will decide what happens. Like that was the thing. But for smaller stuff, she would obviously belt me. That reminds me of
Mhm.
my worst ever, the most like damaging.
Wait, before you get into this, I just realized your parents literally belted you.
Yeah,
Like
they
it's not just
literally
a
Oh,
term
belted.
for you.
dude.
Yeah, they literally belted me.
Oh, dude.
So and the
Oh
thing
man.
is, my dad's like the stand right where you the hook where he put all the belts and stuff. So
Mhm.
I game the game. Okay, so I know when I'm gonna get screwed that day, when I'm gonna get fucked at home. I will
Yeah.
go. I will remove all the leather belts, the belts which hurt. I will go hide them under the bed or something, and I will
Right.
keep the he had one very soft like cloth belt, right? Just
Hmm.
small
Or
one.
Yeah.
like the sex toy types.
Uh,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
what?
whoa.
Where is this going?
Dude,
Relax, Alex.
the kinky belt with the felt and everything, you know.
No, no. Why would my dad have that? No. It's just the normal belt. Like, he didn't use it much. So it's just an old belt. And I would keep
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
right there because I know when he
typical.
Yeah.
comes, he's going to enter. My mom's going to
Smart.
say it. He's going to look to the left where the belts are. He's going to take that. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's the belt. That's the bait. You pick that up. That's okay. It's short on length. So I can, like,
Mm.
dodge back. And it doesn't
Smart.
hurt as much.
Oh,
So that was my thing. And then after the situation ends and everyone calms down, I go pick up all the belts and hang it back to the wall. So
dude, that's
Oh man.
that
There's
was
a
oh
the
certain
man.
environmental thing
Oh,
that your dad has. Like if it's your mom and she's in the kitchen, she takes the rolling pin.
yeah,
If it's your dad,
yeah,
he just grabs. He's not thinking. I think that's amazing, dude. It's just
yeah.
dude.
It's just
okay.
pure age, right? You just
It's like
Yeah.
the first thing that comes.
yeah. The first
Yeah.
thing. It's usually the most convenient thing is that he's not gonna pick up like something very
Like a
like
he's not
Yeah.
gonna he's not gonna pick up like a chappal or a shoe to hit
nah.
Hmm.
you.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never, never that. Never that.
never. South Indians like a chappal, like haram.
Yeah.
So
So Arvind is picking the
there's
room
honor
that
in
he
the
wants to get
beating.
beaten in.
There's honor in the beating.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. So Arvind's dad is hitting him with the belt, and his mom with the chapati pin and whatever. All his hittings are
Uh-huh.
above the waist, and Neil's are below the waist.
Mm.
Not really,
Oh,
bro. I used to
Mm.
get like hit any. Obviously not the face, but
Yeah.
the belt. It's always like you go from top to down, right? So it always comes
Oh
towards the
yeah.
yeah. It'll
oh,
always be, and I would always. So I what I do is if it's in the room, right? I'll take off a pillow, and
Hmm.
I'd protect the like that. I'm very good at
Smart.
like reflexes are very trained and stuff because of this reason because I was
We
put
know
in the
why.
environment.
so wait,
Because
wait. Both of you have siblings. Have you passed on your evading knowledge to your brothers?
yeah, the sad thing,
Like,
or the thing is that when my brother was my age, he never really got hit, man. The parents are like, "Hey, I'm too old for this shit, bro." Like one son is the
Oh.
testing son, the second son is okay. Let him just do what he wants. The younger
I
siblings
don't,
are always get this. I mean, you're an only child, so you won't know. But the younger siblings are always they don't get half the shit we the older ones get.
Oh man, for me it was the other way around actually. I was considered the good kid, and
Okay,
my
okay.
brother's like the first bad kid of the family.
you're the younger
So
one.
I'm the older one.
Okay,
So my younger brother was considered like he didn't do as well comparatively.
okay,
So he always got the hitting. So it was like my parents' first time beating to some
oh, okay.
extent. They still have the cane though, so that
Uh,
is great. It's like a family heirloom at this point.
you're using the your kids, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what are your general thoughts on parents hitting their kids though? Like, will it fly in today's today's
That is
modern.
a deep conversation that I want to go into after we find out what is the worst that has happened to us.
Okay, start off with Alex.
The worst beating. Okay.
Yeah.
This was in school. I think it was 10th grade, in the first month of 10th grade. I got caught at my phone in in school, and the guy who caught me, he seriously had like a whole beef against kids. I don't know what his problem was. His name was Keith. Damn it, man! Like he's just an asshole.
Shout out to
And
Keith.
Shout out to Keith.
yeah,
No, 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 no,
Keith.
name dropped.
So Keith was the discipline officer, and he used to basically like check everybody's socks, belts, whatever, and he used to like just make the life of kids miserable, even for like hair hanging like below your ear kind of deal. He used to like make it miserable. So he found my phone with me. I was like taking somebody's number, and then he just took my phone in. And the worst thing was not that. The worst thing was him and the principal together went through my history, my internet history.
That's
And
that's
you know what
bad.
a 16-year-old kid has on his internet history.
Oh, we knew. The whole school knew, Alex.
Yeah. And then they call my parents saying that this is what your son has on his phone.
I
Like,
mean, you went on incognito. That's kind of stupid of you, but yeah, you kind of deserved it.
no, but where is the respect for privacy here? Like it's my phone. I could have had my deepest, darkest thoughts on this.
You
Like,
shouldn't
you
be
You
know.
did.
having any. That's the worst part at 16.
I mean, whatever. I could have had anything on it that is private and
Hmm.
Yeah.
which he should with this which a stranger shouldn't know.
Yeah.
I think it was just like very bad, a bad look on the school to like go through my phone, and then they called my parents, and then they told them also. And in fact, like the worst thing is they played it in front of my parents and like showed it to them. Like,
Whoa.
Wait,
it was
wait,
just
what?
horrible. Yeah, they
So it's
opened.
not just the titles. They were actively clicking and
They were
showing, see
clicking and
this,
watching it. Yeah,
see
they were
this.
like, yeah, see this, and like
Wow.
all the three links that they clicked were like anime. So,
I think we all learned a little bit more about Alex than we wanted to today.
I mean, I'm a one
Get to
punch
the
man
beating,
myself.
bro. Get to the
One punch.
beating, bro. Skip this part.
And then that day I got the beating of my life, dude. Like, okay,
Ooh.
the broom that
Mhm.
it's not those the brooms like the mop type of broom, not that.
Yeah.
It's those
Mhm.
brooms that you sweep the floor, the
The
made by
I am a
I
broom.
am a broom, yeah.
Yeah.
We had those brooms to like clean the porch outside, right? My dad
Mhm.
Wait,
took that.
is it the soft one or the ones made of that those coconut ones? The hard.
No. The ones made of the coconut ones, the hard
Ah,
ones.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh.
the
that chal
we,
sound will come.
yeah, that's the one. That wasn't the sound when it was hitting my ass, dude. That was like
Oh
I
man.
got beat up for like 20 minutes straight.
Oh.
That
What do
was
they say though? Like, what was your dad like communicating? Like, why are you watching it, or why do you
Yeah.
get caught watching it?
Yeah. Or why is it
I
cartoons?
no no no.
You bloody baby.
I thought better of you. What is this?
No, I couldn't turn to Cartoon Network for like a few months after that. Like
This is the
That's the
honestly,
least of.
unintended fallout.
Yeah.
like I can't watch Naruto because
I think that's the biggest loss in this entire incident.
Yeah.
Couldn't watch Cartoon Network.
yeah, that was the
Uh,
worst. That was the worst of my life, man. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Arvind, how about you, man?
Okay. So for me, I just like at this point at all of those beatings, I used to get beat up like every week, and all of those beatings are like blended into one thing. But this
Mhm.
is so nothing very significant. But this is one thing I remember because it's been a very long time, right? Uh, so in my school, we had this thing called the diary, where
Mhm.
I'm sure you guys had it as well,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you had to
okay,
write
yeah,
down important stuff and all that
yeah.
crap. We had the timetable and all that. So my teachers used to call my parents like every month. I was like a really naughty kid, little bit of an ADHD, so always talking to everyone, never focused in class, always distracted. And
Mhm.
this one time, uh, they called my parents and they were like, this guy doesn't do his homework and shit, doesn't do a thing. So on the meeting, they collectively figured out that from tomorrow onwards, Arvind should be writing in his diary every day about all the homework. And then this is a Friday, and
Okay.
then Monday happens. Monday comes, and then I go back home. Mom's like, "Listen, did you write in the diary?" I was like, "No, I forgot." And then I was like, "Cool, all right." Day two, and then I forgot. I mean, not like I forgot. I just didn't care enough to write, so it just didn't happen again. Then you give them some
Okay.
bullshit reason, they don't buy it, and then yeah, and they were like, Mom was pissed. She didn't get there. She's like, you better write it tomorrow. Then tomorrow, the
Mm.
next day, I don't know what happened, but I again didn't write it. Now I
Yeah.
go back home. It's about 7:38. I go back and I'm like just sitting at my study table in my room. And then my mom comes in. She's like, "Did you write in the diary?" And then I was like, gave her some reason. She's like, "No, I'm not gonna buy it. You didn't write it. Let daddy come and you watch what happens to you."
Oh.
And then my dad comes
Oh.
in. Unfortunately, I don't know, he probably had a stressful day at work or whatever. He comes in, and then you knew he was not in the right mood, right? Like, because that also matters, the tipping point.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
It's the
comes in,
anticipation until that comes home. That's half
yeah,
the pain. And then it's what mood will he be in?
yeah. And I don't know, maybe that day I didn't really move the belts. I didn't do that belt move. It's probably all there. The entire arsenal of all the guns were like right there. You could like pick whichever you wanted to. So I don't know why I didn't anticipate that. Anyway, my bad, my loss. He comes in and then my mom like he doesn't even put his laptop back down and then she's like, listen, he'll write
Oh.
his diary today as well. And I was like, bro, shit. And then he just
Why do
I don't
moms
know.
do that, man? Why do they snitch on you? It's like,
Yeah, it's a thing. So I mean, he goes, he grabs a belt, and
Mhm.
he's running towards me. And it's a small room, all right. And then it's like the treadmill which nobody uses, right? Indians they
Mhm.
hardly ever like some random shits on that. And somehow
Yeah.
I'm like on the treadmill, I'm like fallen there. And then I get the whipping of my life, and then
Oh.
one hard shot. Okay, it connected really well, like all these your cricket boys would be really proud. Like a shot was properly connected. It got my thigh, right? It got my thigh above my
Mhm.
knee, and then it,
Yeah.
it like it was bad, all right. Obviously, I cried and
oh,
all that shit. And then when
Mhm.
it was done, I look at my thigh, and then like bro's bleeding.
Oh shit.
It was not like
Damn.
your cut type of bleeding where it's like bleeding all over, but it was just that
Yeah.
the impact
damn,
was so much the skin
Mhm.
the skin broke, right, like, and it was
man.
like see
Oh.
like blood there. I was like, oh shit, this is bad. And then I went to show them
Oh
later
man.
to guilt trip them and then make them feel bad
You
about
have to.
themselves. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was part of the game, right?
Yeah.
So
Did
yeah,
it
that.
matter? Did it matter? Did they actually fall for it? The guilt trip?
Oh nah, bro. Come
Nah.
on. Come on.
But we had to
Yes.
try. But we
Yeah,
had
you
to
had to
try.
try. You gotta
Yeah.
stack everything against the wall, see if it stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
That day
happened.
your dad took the belt, he kissed her, and he's like, "Yes, I shall retire you now."
Probably. But yeah, after a while it stopped though. Like around like 10th, it just completely stopped. 9th, 10th, it stopped. It was
Do you
before
get
that
PT?
was
Do you get PTSD when you like wear belts nowadays?
nah, bro. Bro, the amount of things I've been hit with, like half the
Yeah.
household appliances, I'd be like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Just like
Nah,
man
man.
stops eating rotis because the roti maker.
Nah, no PTSD and stuff. But yeah, that was one thing I still remember. It's been what, like 15 years now. 10,
Mhm.
15
Yeah.
years. So
You should gift your dad a belt on like his like birthday or something like
Yeah.
he has
a
enough
new
of
belt.
them, trust me.
I was gonna say the other thing
And
that
and
his
you
dad
and you
passes
know
the
each
belt
one of
down.
the scars of each one are there on your thighs. Each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that
Oh,
is
dude.
hilarious, dude.
Kids today, they
So,
have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's still there, but what about you, Neil? What's your.
so mine wasn't completely pain based, right? And
Okay.
that's the scary part. It's very psychological.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Shit.
So here's the problem, right? This is the offense of mine. I take hours to eat. I
Okay.
used to take hours to eat, rather. I'm talking start lunch at 12 p.m., end at like 4.
Right.
What?
Just slowly. Yeah, I'm just watching TV. I'm not really eating. And this was when I was maybe 7 or 8 or something. So I would take hours to eat. I remember I was watching Zorro, the movie that day on TV,
Mask
and I
Man.
took my own sweet time.
Mask
Yep,
Man
Yeah,
style.
yep,
Mask
that's
of
the
the
one.
Zorro.
Oh man. So mom got pissed. I'd been taking so long to eat for days. And now we were nearing 4 hours, maybe 5 hours that day. So she was pissed off. And she played the same game, right? Wait till your dad gets home and then you see what happens.
Oh
So
man.
for me, at that point, I was like, okay, cool. I have more time to eat until dad comes home. It's all good.
But why? Why do you have to eat so fast?
I don't know, dude. I mean, at some point, I don't blame her. 4 hours is a long time for like a plate of rice.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
you get
mean,
cold.
what's the offense?
I don't know, man. I mean, for her, it was that she had to be with me and feed me, or I don't know, dude. But
Oh,
she
okay.
was around at
I
all
mean, that's a
times.
different story. If she had to like, feed,
She was around, I know that much. But then again, I was 7 or 8, so I'd like to think I wasn't being fed at that point. So,
I mean, 7 or 8's okay. Like I was fed at 7 or 8, I think. I think.
okay, I feel better.
So
So here's what
your
happens.
biggest beating was at the age of 7.
It was
Oh,
psychological,
okay,
and it
okay.
stayed with
Oh,
me.
oh shit. It's not a beating. Okay.
So, yeah, it's not a beating.
I mean, not a
So,
physical beating.
yeah. So here's what happened. Dad comes home. He knew this has been happening for the past few days. And even he had it up to the brim with me at this point. So he comes home, he sees me still eating, he sees like half my plate of rice still left. And he says, I'm going to give you another 10 minutes. If you're not done in 10 minutes, I'm going to strip you naked, put you outside the house until you finish your plate of rice. Let's see how long you take then. Which is a very bold statement to make. And I decided to call his bluff that day.
Oh,
7-year-old me.
oh, damn.
I was outside the house in my underwear,
What?
just trying to finish off my food. And again, I remember the timing, okay? It wasn't like a independent house, it
Why
was a
did you
flat.
just throw it out or something? Like,
Yeah, that would be the
yeah.
smart thing to do.
Why were you like,
Oh man, I wish I knew. I had just seen Zorro, and I was like, you know what, I can take on the world, no mask, fuck it.
oh, damn.
so, so I'm outside my
So
house.
how long were you out? Okay, yeah, you're coming to that. Okay.
It was 3:50. I remember the time. It was 3:50, and I remember we had Lebanese neighbors, female Lebanese neighbors.
Oh, this was
Are
when you were
you?
in Saudi. Saudi. Okay.
This is when I was in Saudi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were living in Kamnali.
Close, but yeah. So I remember it's 3:50. They come home at 4 o'clock. And at this point, all I'm thinking is, dude, I gotta finish my food before these women see me naked. Dude, I ate the fastest I'd ever eaten in my life. So lesson learned on one hand. On the other hand, I still think about it to this day. And I finish my food really
You
quickly
know,
now.
probably at this point, you'd probably you'd probably been like, I maybe should have waited for those ladies.
Yeah. Say, I was 7. If I was 9, I would have been waiting for them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Oh man.
as a
man,
kid, this
parents.
reminds me that age, right? Like 7, 8, and all. I got just one more incident of mine, just
Mhm.
rekindled my memory. So this
Yeah.
was just after UKG. Okay, this was like about 5 years old. I was going into first standard. So I did CBSE. So first standard to 10th was a Hindi. So my
Yeah.
mom decided to give me practice of Hindi practice over the summer, so I'm like a little more prepared for school.
Right.
Mhm.
So, like 6 years old, and you have these Hindi letters and stuff. You have this notebook where you have to just imitate them, and then like
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
line after the other, they'll draw three
Yeah.
lines, and you'll have to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that stuff, right?
The the
Oh
the
man.
blue and the red. I remember
Yeah,
that.
the blue.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay.
So this one time, I was writing, right, and I had a very sharp pencil, sharpened the pencil, and I just kept the pencil over here, like just holding it flat in my hand.
Mhm.
And then she came. She's like, "Why have you done that wrong?" And then she just tapped me on my shoulder a little hard. Okay. Somehow the pencil, poked into my finger, and
Okay.
the
Oh,
the pencil nib broke into my finger, right, and
oh
my
shit.
middle finger, and there's still a mark there. Like if you probably
Oh,
noticed it, there's like a
little
small
bit,
Oh
little
green.
bit,
man.
little bit of the black lead is
Oh
still
yeah,
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. I kind of see it.
yeah. There's still
Oh
So the
man.
so
a
so so your
blackish
skin,
greenish mark there.
so your skin
Yeah.
came over the lead, and the lead is still inside it,
That's
like
what
in
I
a way.
thought it
Oh.
was, but probably isn't that. It's probably
No,
some
it's probably that. That's like
scar,
how
but
like a no, it's probably that is how probably it is because I also have like a blue pink, I mean blue pen mark on my finger from when I poked my finger by mistake. So it's still
no, I
there.
think
So you
that's
suck
a
at Hindi
scar.
too, Alex.
What? No,
Only
I
thing he
didn't do
heard
that.
himself. Why am I not good? Why am I not
No,
good?
No, I did. Oh, sorry. Like I did it myself. So you know that game where you keep your hand on the table and they do it with the pen on the
Ooh,
table.
Oh,
that's some Zoro
yeah.
shit, bro.
Yeah. So coincidentally, the guy who poked my hand with the pen, his name was Zoran. So
Oh shit.
shit.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Name drop. Name drop.
Zoran. If Zoran's watching, like, comment below.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Comment below.
Yeah.
Just they listen
So
to this on Spotify and they're like, bro, where's the comments?
so yeah. So Zoran did the whole thing with the pen, like he was,
Yeah.
and we were going like a good 4 or 5 rounds, and in the fifth round, I don't know what happened to me, just like stabbed my middle finger,
Ah,
and
shit.
the ink of the pen is still there, like it's a blue dot in my finger.
Okay,
Oh man.
so now I think we've wrapped up all the stories, or nearly
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm good.
I
Okay,
mean,
so now let's get to the serious side of things, right? Like the
Yeah.
yeah, like
uh,
is it just
Yes.
Indian parents or is it parents everywhere, and we just
so
don't
I've
know?
read that white parents don't do it to their kids at all, but
Mm, yeah.
colored parents, black parents, and Latino kids get like beat the same way as
So
us.
is it okay? So
Mhm.
I'll ask it in a different way. Is it privileged parents versus not privileged parents, or
Not
educated parents versus?
necessarily, not necessarily. It's more
Yeah,
of
I
a
don't think
cultural
so.
thing. It's more of a cultural thing.
Mm.
So you're saying no matter how well off and well educated and high standard you are in Indian society, Indians will still beat their parents. Like Ambani probably hits his kids. Is what you're saying.
Hey, you
Probably
gotta get
cuts
rich
the
somehow,
funding,
man.
bro. Probably cuts off the funding, but
Make money, make money.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
I
man.
think it could be a little more of a like a class thing as well. But like,
Mm.
let's
Yeah.
say the parents, right, the wealthy parents, if they grew up like from a middle class or lower middle class background, went up there and now are rich, maybe
Mhm.
they beat up the kids because you basically replicate what you dealt with, right? Like that's kind
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
thing. Unless it's a very
Yeah.
traumatic thing and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna make sure I don't do this to my kids and
Yeah.
that thing. But I think a lot of us, right? Like we're not parents yet, right? But what do we know about parenting is what we learned from our parents. No, that's the
Yeah.
only reference point of knowledge we have. So I
yeah.
think we will look at that as some kind of an anchor point to see, you know, to see how to because you gotta make shit
Yeah.
work at some point, right? So what
Do,
is the
do,
best
do,
way to
Exactly. Yeah.
work it is one something which has already
wait,
worked for you.
so
Yeah.
So
so wait, are you in favor of like everybody going for like parenting coaching kind of thing?
nah, bro, I
Mm.
don't need some random. What gives the credibility for
Yeah.
that guy to be the best parent or something, right? Like
Uh, like
circumstances change for
bit
everyone.
of don't do's would be great. The do's are okay, but the don't
Mm.
do's are pretty important, right? Like don't leave your
Yeah. I
kid
think it depends on
outside the
who you're
door at
hearing it
3:50
from.
a.m. is
Oh.
like a
Mm-hmm.
is a don't do.
Come again?
Yeah.
Don't leave your kid outside the door at 3:50 a.m. is a pretty much of a don't do.
That's kind of common sense, but unless you're like a bit of a psychopath or
Like
something.
I
imagine
mean,
someone writing down this curriculum, right, for this
Yeah.
course. He's like,
Don't throw your kid
350
off the
exactly.
balcony. Don't put fire on it. I mean, that's
No, see, here's
chapati
my
roller is used
maybe.
to roll chapati.
chapati roller, okay. Knife, not okay. I mean, doesn't really
Oh
work
man,
that
it's just
way.
an ABC book, right? A for apple, B for ball, C for don't kill your kid. I don't know, dude.
I mean, D for don't kill your kid. Like,
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, I should have got one more letter, damn it.
see,
As a
Oh
punishment,
man.
take off your clothes, go stand outside right now.
Damn it, it's time. I've prepared all my life for
it's
this
not
day.
that kind of show, man. It's not.
Our audio listeners are very happy that they picked this platform today.
And Alex prefers animated ones anyway, so it shouldn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Disney, you know.
Okay. Back to the topic before we go.
Yeah, true. So here's my perhaps controversial take, right? I was all against this. Of course, as all of us kids, right?
Right,
We've learned a
obviously.
certain way. We have seen Western media, as they say, and we know that there are better ways to teach kids things.
Correct.
But then my nephew was born, and his mom was very, let's say, hands-free with her parenting style. She was more like, yeah, okay, let him do what he wants.
Okay.
It's fine, he'll manage.
Right.
Dude, this kid is a brat. I say this very openly. He should have been hit a little bit as a kid.
No,
You know,
wait,
every
wait, wait,
year.
wait, wait. Let him do what he wants should not also come with
Yeah.
an allowance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the
Exactly.
problem.
There should be some disciplining.
There should be
Yeah.
something to like leash you. That's for sure. Like you,
Yeah,
yeah. So you can't be like, let you do what you want. I'll also give you 50K a month.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
don't
where the
Yeah,
reward
problem.
the bad behavior, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's
correct.
how it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
for, like, I don't want to compare kids to dogs, but I think dog training is like the same way,
yeah.
right? You don't
It's the same
reward
thing.
the
Like,
bad
yeah,
behavior.
as your kid,
Mm,
it's the Pavlovian principle. Like you condition
mm.
yourself to positive and negative reinforcement. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what Neil said, in a way, even though the way his dad or mom did it was wrong, but they didn't physically hurt him. They like put it into
I
his head.
wish. I wish.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah,
but I think
I see
physically
your
is
point.
better than, emotional and psychological trauma, bro.
No,
Because those
that's what I'm
scars
saying.
are take longer to heal.
No, what I'm saying is they put it on the extreme end of the spectrum. What they could have done
Yeah,
is
definitely.
taken away his plate without letting him finish. Like, you know what I mean? So he'll
Yeah,
remain
there are
No,
different
hungry.
ways
but
to punish.
bro, Indian
That's the thing.
kids, that's they don't. Indian parents don't do that to you. They don't take away your food. They will overfeed you than like underfeed you, right? Like that's like a given
Yeah.
rule. It's just
That's what I mean. They need to have like some sort of sense of this. So there should be like a kind of a coaching module for this. I don't know. That's my
Mm,
what they should
for
have done is ideally what
so
I would have done is
no, no. Why I'm saying this is because teachers they get a whole rule book on how to handle kids in the classroom. So why don't
mm,
parents have this whole
mm.
rule book on how to handle kids at home?
yeah, bro. But teachers are like,
That's
I
interesting.
mean, not like they did a great job or anything. Like I don't know.
No, there are.
Depends
I
on
mean, there are teachers
Yeah.
who
teacher
do.
to
I mean,
teacher, but most of them I don't have like a really positive. I say the way of handling what they
Mm.
do. They make you sit on the floor and fucking they put you out of the
Yeah.
class. It's not like it's
Yeah.
not
no,
helping, right?
I'm pretty sure it's there in the handbook of the teacher not to make the kids around the floor. Like, but they
But
do it
there's
because
a better way to handle it. So
Yeah.
how I would have handled
Mm.
new situation is I wouldn't feed the kid until he's hungry. Get it?
Mm.
Like they
Yeah.
probably gave him too early, 12 o'clock, right? They probably gave him too early, so that's why he didn't really want to eat the food as such. He was just sitting there because if you're
that's
hungry,
also
you'll
true.
automatically put it in your
That's also
mouth,
true.
right?
So much of the
True.
problems that the parents think that kids are having is actually their problems that they're just projecting onto the
Yeah,
kid. Yeah, like for
Mm.
example, his parents could have just fed him at a better time, and he would have probably eaten it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd like to think so.
yeah, but they
yeah.
probably
Mm.
want to take that 1 o'clock
Or
nap or
or
something.
no,
They just want to get it
or
done with before.
no, yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. Parents have shit to do. They're working and whatever, and kids can't. They just occupy 4 hours of their time. So the easiest thing is to do is like don't switch on the Zorro while he's eating the food and
Bro,
occupy.
as a
Oh.
punishment, some days, right, like for after the belting segment, my dad will be like, no more
Oh,
TV for
there's
you.
worse. There's more.
No,
Oh.
it's not worse. The
It's
beating
the
is just the thing,
levels.
but you gotta fix the beating, right? What is the beating for? It's for like enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Enforcement is
True.
the behavior, right? So
Right.
you gotta beat them up to shake it open, and then you put the entry,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So what I do is it was really funny now I think of it. They'd make me sit facing opposite the TV and eat my food. So because I used to eat really slow as a kid as well,
So
right?
they used
Until
Yeah.
college I used to eat really slow. Because in college,
Yeah.
in the canteen, you have class, you learn really quick. Now I eat like I eat really quick. But back then I was
to.
very
Yeah.
very slow as well. So my dad used
Mhm.
to make me turn around. The TV would be playing behind me. They'd all be facing this way. I'll be looking at them.
So
I'm
you
eating
used
my
to get a
food.
so you used to get an audio podcast of the TV.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly.
Arvind
Yeah,
is sitting across the TV. He's not looking at it. And he's like, one day I'll start a podcast so people can just listen and they don't have
yeah.
to worry about the visuals.
That's the inspiration.
Wait. This
That's
this
where
has
it
happened.
started.
This has happened to me also once. So what I did is there was like a window kind of deal on the opposite side of my hall. So I used to watch it on the
Mhm.
reflection of that window, and they never realized
Oh,
it.
smart,
So
smart,
so
smart.
yeah, but everything was like flipped. But I mean, it was better than nothing.
Oh,
So yeah,
fair. Okay, okay.
yeah. So yeah. But I mean, coming back to the serious part of this, I really think that there should be some sort of training for parents on. I mean, if not specific cases, but general cases. Like
Mm,
they should be taught the Pavlovian way, like how to condition your kids to be disciplined, kind of thing. And
mm,
rather than enforcing it and looking at shortcuts, like putting a kid outside the room, hitting him with a belt or with a
That's
hand or
true.
what. So there should be like a
yeah.
conditioning class on how to do this. Maybe parents, I mean, modern parents should just try pets before they get a kid. Like get a puppy or a cat or something. Like like try to
Alex, you
get
should
Yeah.
quit your job and start this, bro.
Yeah.
What are your credentials, though? I'm a bachelor.
All we know is everyone who's investing in this company has been hit like a motherfucker at home.
No, but isn't dog training like, I mean, you train a dog, it's like training a 5-year-old, right? Like how is it that different?
But I think there
It's
is some sort of training, no? Like I
like
think like for
there's
pregnant
two.
mothers and stuff, how to handle the baby and
Yeah.
No,
that training
that's
is
If
there.
you go
no,
for it, it's
no, no,
optional.
Yeah.
no, 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 no. That the hospital does for like, optimal feeding and whatever. I mean, I don't
Maybe
think they
not
do it.
in India, but I think there's a lot of things
No,
abroad
it's
like
there in India.
how
It's no, it's definitely there in
Yeah.
India. It's
not as
definitely there in India.
popular or used by the masses,
Yeah.
obviously, but
I mean,
it's
not
shit's
if you go to a
expensive.
midwife, but in hospitals, I'm pretty sure it's like there.
Mm.
No, not that, bro. They teach you like completely, like from before you're pregnant, like just when you start becoming pregnant
Yeah.
to
They give you a doll and everything from what I've
yeah,
seen.
Yeah, yeah.
bro.
Oh,
We
okay.
saw it in that thing.
Okay.
No, they train with the watermelon and shit at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so similar stuff.
I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean, it's sensible, but those are all like physical stuff, like, how to hold your baby, how it's the best way to ensure that the baby doesn't have like discomfort and whatever.
Mm.
It's mostly around that. I don't think it's about like, how to get this guy to potty train, how to get this guy to like
Yeah, that
eat his
comes
food.
later. It's like
Yeah.
4 years later.
Yeah, exactly. So a
Mm.
5-year-old, 3, 4 year, 5-year-old baby kid is no different from a puppy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mm.
So I think parents should just get puppies or some sort of a pet, get used to that,
Yeah.
something to have to take care of and spend time with and spend time on.
It's like the
So,
Yeah.
internship before the real job.
yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. Because people have kids without like being prepared for it, right? They don't realize how much of their day will be occupied in this thing.
Hmm.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying this in like making it sound bigger than it is, and thousands of everyone just has kids all the time. I know that, but I'm just saying in a real ideal world, people should just try this, and I think
So,
they would be
what
Yeah.
do
better
you
parents.
guys think? The people in the comment section, drop your comment below, and we will catch you next week. Right? We're closing.
We can catch it, yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
definitely. So that's that. So we wrap it up with something interesting to think about the internet. And thanks, Neil. Thanks,
Yeah.
Arvind, for joining me. And we'll catch you guys next week.